What is going on, everybody? It's Skills here, and man, we are going to be showing you a build that melts and that I use in the raid when I want to run a DPS build. Now, it doesn't work through the whole raid, but it works through a lot of the raid, and when you are ad controlling, oh my gosh, how strong this build is. And you're going to see I hit up to almost 1.5 million to the head with this build, and that's what's really crazy about this. The fact that with the SMG, I'm hitting 1.5 million to the head is just crazy. And if you see the numbers just stack. These guys couldn't even get out the door. I was melting them so fast, and my teammate didn't even have to do anything. He was just like, yo, why are they dying so quick? But it's just crazy how good this build is, and I think once you guys see how good it is, you guys will enjoy it. My raid member Twain was actually the one that actually put me onto this build because he was running around and I saw him using SMG. Well, he was using the Lady Death, and I was like, how do you like it? And he was like, yo, I'm hitting like 1 million to the head. And I was like, what? So I decided to put this build together and tweak it a little bit better. And this build is amazing. Right now you see I'm running a certain backpack that has Adrenaline Rush on it. Now this is great for solo play, but you know, I actually like running something a little bit different, and I like running Vigilance, but we'll talk about it in a second. So let's break down the build, right? So we run the Lady Death as the primary, the M1A as the secondary. So why is the Lady Death so good? Well, the Lady Death is probably one of the best weapons in the game, and mine has 12% SMG damage, maxed out crit chance at 21%, and 6% damage to armor. Now it has 97,000 base damage, and what's great about it is the talent Breathe Free. When you're moving, you gain 4 stacks per second, or 8 stacks if sprinting, up to 32 stacks. Each round fire consumes a stack, amplifying damage by 75%. Kills grant 20% movement speed for 10 seconds. And that's why you're seeing that I'm hitting those high numbers. And you're like, wow, that's crazy. For an SMG to be pulling off 1.5 million headshots with crits is crazy. Now, we do have 10% crit chance on the scope, 5% crit damage on the muzzle, on the grip, 500% melee damage, and then on the magazine, we have reload speed 10%. For our secondary, we do run the Baker's Dozen, you know, the one that comes with perfect lucky shot. Magazine capacity is increased by 300%. Missed shots from cover have a 100% chance to return to the magazine. I always like pairing this up with damage to targets out of cover on there. And then I do run critical hit chance. I do run 5 extra rounds, and then on the scope, it's up to you. You can put headshot damage on there, or you can run a critical hit chance scope on. But that's enough talking about the weapons. Let's get into the build. So I like to run this with the Coyote mask, the exotic mask, especially because I'm running an SMG, and I'm always within that 0 to 15 meters. Now this one has 15% weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage, and then a crit damage mod. All my mods are going to be crit damage because I don't need that extra critical hit chance because I'm going to hit 60% crit chance without that. So Pack Instincts. Now you and all your allies gain a bonus based on the distance of the last enemy you hit. Since every time I hit an enemy, it's between that 0 to 15 meters, I'm going to get that 25% critical hit damage. That's why running this helps out my team, and it's better than me just running a Providence mask. I'll have a 3-piece Providence that'll give me 15% critical hit damage, but why not get that 25% critical hit damage that my teammates can use too? So they're going to be hitting harder. So 100%, this is the mask to run, especially if you're running in solo or even team play, because you're always going to be within that 0 to 15 meter range. So that 25% crit hit damage, you're going to see me stack that on my numbers once we look at the stats. We dive into the chest, and the chest is going to have the talent Intimidate. So we're running a 2-piece Providence. So we have headshot damage, 15%, 10% crit chance. And then look, we have weapon damage. We rolled headshot damage. We have critical hit damage and critical hit damage. We do not have to stack critical hit chance on all the pieces because of the high crit chance we get from just running the SMG, the Lady Death. So Intimidate, while you have bonus armor, you amplifies total weapon damage by 35% to enemies within 10 meters. Now, when you are running the raid, or you're running it in most groups during the raid, you're going to have somebody running Perfect Vanguard. And that Perfect Vanguard is going to give you that bonus armor that you're most likely going to always have up. Because as long as you use your shield to block a lot of the shots, you'll be able to use Intimidate to its full capacity. Now, for the holster, we are running the Providence holsters. So this is a 2-piece that gives us that 10% crit chance. We have weapon damage, critical hit damage, and then headshot damage. Look, another piece that I didn't have to run critical hit chance, and I'm still going to max out at 60% critical hit chance. So just remember that. Now, for the knee pads, we are running the Grupo Sombra knee pads. This is 15% critical hit damage, 14.1% weapon damage, 11.6% critical hit damage, and 6% critical hit chance. So this is the one piece that I did decide to run critical hit chance on there because, hey, we do have to stack a little bit of critical hit chance to make sure that we hit that 60% mark. And then we get into the gloves. Now, the gloves, you can either run a 2-piece Sokolov, which you see right here, I have 10% SMG damage, 15% critical hit damage, or you can run a 3-piece Providence, which is also going to give you 15% critical hit damage. So it doesn't really matter on the backpack what you run, either a 2-piece Sokolov or a 3-piece Providence. Now, this one has weapon damage, critical hit damage, and then headshot damage. So another piece that I was able to not have to run critical hit chance, and I'm able to stack a little bit more headshot damage because you can't double stack critical hit damage, right? We get into the backpack. So we have a Sokolov backpack equipped right now. And what I'm going to do is I want to pair it up with the Vigilance backpack. So ideally, you can run either one of these. You're always going to have that 15% critical hit damage. So that's up to you. Now for the talents, for the roles, they both have weapon damage. They both have critical hit damage. And they both have critical hit chance. And then either one has the mod or the other one has the critical hit damage mod or critical hit chance. So if you notice, pretty much the same stats. That's what you want to go for. For the talent wise, you want to go with Vigilance because if I'm using the shield, increase total weapon damage by 25%, taking damage disables this buff. So as long as I use the shield, I'll be able to keep Vigilance up. And I'm killing so fast, it's easy. Now, if you feel like you're not activating Vigilance, well, then maybe Adrenaline Rush will be better for you for that bonus armor you get when you're close to an enemy. But yeah, the backpack, that is up to you. I personally like running Vigilance. So this is the full setup right here, the 3-piece Providence, 1-piece Sokolov, 1-piece Grupo Sombra, and an exotic mask. For the skills, I always run the Reviver Hive because, hey, if you mess up, you might go down, and then the Crusader Shield, which allows me to run it with the Lady Death. So I'm able to pair this up hand in hand, and that allows me to keep Vigilance active because that's an extra 25% damage, and as long as my Crusader Shield is up, I'm hitting hard, I'm staying alive, and it's perfect. Now, why don't we go into the stats? Because, right, the stats is really what shows how we're hitting so hard. 60% crit chance. You saw I wasn't rolling crit chance on anything. We have 158% critical hit damage. That does not include the 25% that we are getting from the mask. So we're up above 180% critical hit damage on this build. That's why we hit so hard. And then look, even the headshot, that's helping us hit even harder. 109% headshot damage. So right there, you see the crit chance, the crit damage, the headshot damage, and then, hey, we can't leave out the 6% armor damage we get from the Lady Death. So we are getting a little bit more damage there. And putting this all together is why you were seeing those high numbers. That's how you guys can hit so hard. And you can definitely improve this because I was hitting for 1.5 was the highest crit I was doing. But you can definitely get this a little bit higher depending on who's on your team, what buffs you have going, and depending on what roles you have. Like if you have maxed out roles, if your watch is maxed out. Now, we do have 72,000 armor on kill. Remember, we are running the gunner class, so we're able to get that 10% armor on kill when we do get a kill. But what the real focus on this build is all about the crit chance, the crit damage, and headshot damage. I love running this build more than I love running my rifle build, but I'm able to run my rifle build at the same time. Just to show you a quick, my watch isn't fully maxed out. I do have the weapon damage maxed out. I have about 9.6% headshot damage. I have an additional 6% critical hit damage and then 2% critical hit chance. So nothing's maxed out on here except the weapon damage. So I'm going to add 4.4 so I get that 10% headshot damage and then stack a little bit more into critical hit damage. So the numbers should go up slightly. So this, if you have a fully maxed out watch, you're definitely going to hit harder than I am because you're going to have that bonus for critical hit chance, which now you don't have to run any critical hit chance mods. You can just run the critical hit damage mods, and that's definitely help you out in the long run. But yeah, this is the full build right here, and as you guys have seen in this gameplay, man, I was in charge of the right side, and there wasn't anybody getting out of this right side. So that's what I loved about it. As long as I had Intimidate active, I had that Overshield active, it was pretty easy to do, right? Like it was pretty easy to kill whatever I needed to kill. The crits were there, the damage was there, and everything was really easy for me to do. So if you're looking for a build that melts, that destroys enemies, you can run this with everything. Either if you're gonna have a team run Perfect Vanguard, that's probably gonna be where you benefit the most. If you don't, then probably running something like Adrenaline Rush is gonna help you out. But let me know what you guys think about this. I personally enjoy this so much, and I'm having fun running it, and it gives me something else to run besides a rifle DPS build. This is definitely something I enjoy running, and I'll probably continue to run it because it's so effective and everything just melts. Let me know what you guys think about the build. If you guys have any questions, as always, let me know in the comment section. I appreciate the support, guys. This will be the final video of the day. I know I released 2 videos today. Oh, sorry, 1 video today. And tomorrow we'll have a new video. I think we're gonna do the vendor reset. And then of course, I think I have another build that I wanted to put out for you guys, which I should have soon. So I will see you guys in the next one. But until then, nothing but skills out.